everybody. My name's Carrie. Thank you so much for being here. Today is October 20th, 2022. This will not be a regular episode. This is going to be my Rheinbeck recap. So I just got back from my trip to the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, also known as Rheinbeck, on Monday, and today's Thursday, and I was supposed to go camping. That got canceled, so I thought I'm going to use this opportunity to record and share with you my experience at Rheinbeck. Normally, I show things that I have been making, crafting, knitting, whatever, and this is not going to be that kind of an episode. So if you're not interested in what happened at Rheinbeck or any of that stuff, you're overwhelmed with everybody's recapping or whatever, I'll see you next time. Hopefully, I'll be able to record in a couple of weeks and have a normal episode. So, if you want to stick around and hear about my adventures at Rheinbeck, buckle up. First, I have to say I had the best time. It exceeded my expectations. It was just all so wonderful. I went with a group of friends who I had never met before, if that makes any sense. I have been part of a group of friends that we meet on Zoom. Started when COVID shut everything down, and we meet once a week and have our little knit night. And so they've become my friends, but I haven't met them in person. So I did take that back. I have met Chip and Aaron of the Fiber Hustle. I knew them because they live kind of close. They live on the same side of the United States as me, just a few hours away. But other than that, I hadn't met anybody else. So it was really nice to actually meet these people in person. We shared a house. It was this big, glorious house in the woods in upstate New York in the Hudson Valley. The colors at this time of year, at fall, we were just gorgeous. Everything was changing colors and felt very fall-like. This house was huge, had this big, huge covered porch, which we hung out in a lot. There was a little bit of history with it, because there was like a caretaker kind of on the grounds or something, and Aaron talked to him, and the house was built in the late 1900s. It was a 3-story house with also a basement, and on the 3rd story, that used to be a brothel, and the basement used to be a casino during like Prohibition time. So that was kind of cool to have that history. Had lots of bedrooms, lots of bathrooms. It was easy for us to all just coexist in it and get ready to go for the day. And it was so wonderful to meet these people in person and give them hugs. And I wasn't sure how it was going to feel, if it was going to feel awkward because we don't really know each other, but I found out that we really do. And it just was like, it was like a family reunion. It was like seeing them again, even though I hadn't ever seen them in person. And we all got along so well. There wasn't any drama. We just all enjoyed being with each other so much, and we laughed until we cried and just enjoyed everything. So that was fantastic. And I can't imagine having this trip without those people, because we all come from different backgrounds. We all have different life experiences. And I just felt that made the house very rich. It just had a richness to the friendships because we are different, but yet we all just got along fabulously. So now, as Michael from Piece for Piece Crafting, he was one of my housemates, is like, you know what, now we're like family. And I do truly feel that way. Like we have this experience that has bonded us in a different way. And it was just so, so wonderful. So my trip started off in Portland, and I got to the airport early because I like to do that because I don't like to fly. So there's a lot of stress and anxiety for me for flying. I have missed a flight before because of an accident on the highway that prevented me from getting there. And that just created so much stress that now I'm like, I don't care if I have to sit in the airport for 2 hours. I want to make sure I'm there. And so I get there, get through TSA, do all the things. And there's a lot of people at the gate, and I'm like, okay, well, that's probably flight that's ahead of me. I'll wait for those people to go on. I'll just kind of go sit over here. And then I'm realizing as the time's going on that those people aren't going anywhere. So I thought I better kind of go over to my gate to make sure that I'm getting on and all that stuff. And I noticed that there's veterans and there's people in uniform. And this lady was sitting there and she had like a red, white, and blue blanket. And I'm like, what is all this? Turns out I was on an honor flight. So I was flying from Portland to Washington, D.C., catching another plane, and then going on to New York. So an honor flight, and she gave me this brochure. Sorry, it's a little wrinkled because it was in my backpack, but gave me this brochure. And what it is it's an organization that takes veterans to Washington, D.C., and they go to memorials and museums and stuff and, give them the chance to see these things that honor them. And she said everybody's got a guardian, whether it's a family member or a volunteer that takes them, and they will take them to see different things that have to do with like war memorials. It was just so cool. The Coast Guard's there in their little jumper uniform things. The veterans are there. Some are in wheelchairs, some are not. They had a local veterinary emergency hospital called Dove Lewis had dogs there that were therapy dogs. So if there was anybody that was just needing some support, they had dogs there. And then it was time to board the plane. And so the Coast Guard lined up to make like a corridor, and the veterans went through them to get on the plane. Somebody starts singing the national anthem. The Coast Guards are in full salute. And it was like, oh my God, this is just amazing. I started crying. It was just so touching. And it was like, I can't believe I'm a part of it. Like, how did I get on this flight? And the lady's like, this is probably going to be the safest flight you'll ever be on. And it was just so cool. So we get on the plane, and the majority of the plane were civilians. This was just a group, and this group was out of Alaska. But they do this all throughout the states. And so as we're up in the air and we're flying, they come on and they say, Alaska Airlines, in honor of the veterans, wants to give everybody lunch. So we all got lunch because we were on this flight. And it was just like, this is just so cool. I get to experience this. So landed in Washington, D.C., got to my connecting flight, got over to New York. I went on a Wednesday, even though we were going to meet for our house on Thursday, because flights from Portland, the only way I could get there was to arrive pretty late at night. And I thought, if I show up on Thursday, I'm going to miss that whole day that everybody's going to be there. So I have a friend, my friend Todd lives in Poughkeepsie, which is really close to Rheinbeck. And so he agreed to come pick me up, let me crash at his place for the night. And so that was just really fun. We went to a diner. And I'm like, because I get there and I'm like, I'm hungry. I know it's like 9 o'clock at night or whatever, but I'm hungry because I'm on West Coast time. So we went to a diner and just had fun. On Wednesday morning, he took me to go see the Vanderbilt Mansion, which was really cool. It's on this sprawling estate of, I don't know how many hundreds of acres right along the Hudson River. The trees are all changing in fall colors. And so we walked around the grounds. We didn't go in. We just walked around the outside and just kind of just took it all in and just laughed and had a fun time. And I'll show you our little video here. It was pretty fun.
And welcome to the lovely Vanderbilt Mansion Estate.
My tour guide.
Hyde Park, New York. On the left, you'll see trees. On the right, trees and grass.
But they're expensive trees.
Fall trees. It's a rainy day here on a Thursday right before Rheinbeck, New York Sheep and Wool Festival, which is why Carrie is here. This is Todd Michael Thomas, sponsoring from your local PBS station.
I'm leaving that in. My lovely So then after we got done with doing the Vanderbilt Mansion, we went and picked up our friend Rob. He was going to be in my house that we were renting, and he was coming in on the train from the city. So picked him up. Todd took us out to the house. Some of the group was already there, the group that came from like the Seattle area. And so it was just like, oh my God, like these people are here and like it's starting, right? And I got very excited and just hugging everybody and just like, oh my God, this is like, we're doing this. We've been talking about this for so long. We're finally doing this. And it was just so cool. And then we were just sitting out on the front porch because it had this gorgeous front porch, and then like somebody's pulling up. It's like, who is that? Oh, that's Michael, like go running down there like it's Michael. And then Susan comes and like all these, then we were all there, and it was just so fun. It was just so incredible, and everybody was just exactly like I expected them to be. There was no awkwardness. Even though we were meeting for the first time, it just felt like we just slipped right in. It was like a family reunion, and it was just so cool. The house was perfect for this big group of ours. And we just kind of settled in and just kind of got to know just sat and chatted. And like, it was just really cool. Kevin and Ray of the Needles at the Ready came on Friday because they could drive over from Connecticut. And so they came in on Friday, and they were part of an event that was at Woolen Folk, which was a side festival, sort of, not part of Rheinbeck. And it was in this beautiful location right alongside the Hudson River. And so there were vendors and stuff there. It was a good, like, dip your toe into what Rheinbeck's going to maybe be like, and it was busy, but it wasn't horrible. And you just walked around and saw the vendors, and so vendors that of names you see online or whatever. It's like I get to actually go meet the dyer, and I can like see the yarn in person. So one of those was yarn that I wanted to make sure I got was Woolens and Nosh. I do love her yarn. She has a Targhee nylon base, and she had a colorway that was designed by or for Earth Tones Girl, Denise. And so it was like a fall color, and I wanted to make sure I got it. And this is called Falling in Love. And it was a color that she had there. And I thought, oh, perfect with the oranges and the pinks and stuff. It's just perfect fall striped socks. I also picked up Day Hiking. So that's another self-striping. Woolens and Nosh, she just does a beautiful job with self-striping. And this base is really, really lovely to work with and really nice for socks. So, Day Hiking, I had to get that one, right? So those were my two purchases at Woolen Folk. There was some music. Like I said, just you're kind of running into people I wore my crocheted vest that day. It was a little warm at first, but as it got into evening, I was really glad I had it because it got chilly once the sun started to go down. But if you remember from when I made that, it was the granny squares that I put together into a vest, and I watched TL Yarn Crafts, who is Tony. I watched her tutorial on how to put those together, and I saw her at the festival, and I'm wearing the vest, and I was like, do I say something? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna walk up to her, and I just... She was shopping and she was with a friend, and I just said, hey, Tony, just thank you so much for doing your videos. It was so helpful for me. The fact that you did that it allowed me to make this. And she's just like, well, your slip stitches just look lovely. And she was very sweet. And I'm like, I'm not going to bother you. Just wanted to say thank you. I felt like such a dork, but I did at least say that. So it was kind of a cool moment. Like, I'm wearing the thing that I made because you did the tutorial. And so very cool. She was lovely. Saw some other people. There's people that are celebrities or influencers, whatever that is. To me, they're just people that sit in front of a camera. A lot of people watch them. That doesn't, to me, make them any more special. But people treat them like celebrities, and that's fine for you. I'm not that type of person. I found some of the people to be a little snobbish, and so, I just wasn't interested. But, if you were into seeing these people that you watch on the screen, it's a big moment for you. And I did see that with my friends, like Kevin and Ray. And Michael's got Piece for Piece Crafting. Kevin and Ray are Needles at the Ready. And Aaron and Chip of Fiber Hustle. I highly recommend you watch their channels. They are going to be doing their version of Rheinbeck recaps. And I'm sure they took way more pictures than I did because I was terrible. I didn't take pictures. I took a few. I just was in the moment and I wasn't worried about like, oh, I gotta, this has got to be Instagrammable or whatever. I just didn't do it. I was just in the moment. So anyway, I got to meet Aquila of a Lefty Knitter podcast. She was somebody that I definitely wanted to meet. I got to meet some other people that are in our Thursday night Zoom group that aren't staying at the house. So I got to meet Jeff and Chevy Rell and who else wasn't staying at the house? I can't remember. No, I can't remember. Anyway, I got to meet those people, and I saw them on Friday at the Wool and Folk Festival. There was also a roller skating event that happened after that, and I was going to go to it. I wanted to go, and I thought, by the time that day was done, I was like, I just want to go back to the house with everybody and just like have that time with my housemates and stuff. So I didn't go to the roller skating thing. So we get to the house. Kevin and Ray get there and are able to sit with us, and just like we had, got a bunch of pizza and just sat around and just were like, hey, we're here. And isn't this just so cool? And we all just fell into this really great groove. It was just the perfect group of people to do this with. We did a little bit of exchanging of things. I had made some drawstring bags that I brought to give to everybody. Aaron and Chip brought everybody in the house a little mini chip basket, which is so cute. And then Aaron dyed some yarn, and everybody got like a different color based on who they were. So this color, which is so pretty. And then they had made if you watched their last podcast, they did a live, I watched it afterwards, but they said, oh, meet us behind the barn at Rheinbeck and stuff. So they made these really adorable stitch markers that I met what does it say? I met Fiber Hustle behind the barn, and with a little barn logo. Like, so cute. So that was our little gift from them. Nancy made everybody in the house a special colorway. So she is Trilogy Yarns, and she dyed us this sock set, and it is Zoom Besties Rheinbeck 2022, and it was just for those of us in the house, so you can't get this, but oh my gosh, right? It's so pretty. It's got all the colors that we all love, because it's like everybody's like blue, gray, green, purple, and so she put them all in there, and then with the minis to go with it, which was so cool. Lucy gave me, so Lucy is one of our members, one of our family, and she gave everybody a little gift, and she customized it for everybody and gave me some fat quarters. So these are some really pretty purple fat quarters, a little toy for Violet, which is downstairs. So that was really sweet. We did a little like fiber swap kind of thing. If you remember, I mentioned probably the last time that a friend of mine had a friend who bought a storage unit, and in it was some knitting stuff, and she's like, if you want any of this, you can take it. And so I took some yarn that I was nice yarn, but wasn't in colors I would knit with, and I'm like, I'll bring it and see if anybody there wants it. So we kind of were like, hey, bring some stuff. If you got extra stuff you're kind of not wanting, let's do a little swappy thing. So we did that, and I managed to snag these couple of skeins from their Lolo Did It. Complete Secret is the colorway. I think this was part of a club that Kevin and Ray brought the yarn, so I'm like, perfect. I already know the color that this is going to go with. I don't have quite the sweater picked out, but this was perfect because I was looking for this color. I also got Clark and L. These would be cute socks. I think that was it at the house. So, I mean, the Wool and Folk was a really nice event. I thought it was done up really well. It was right on the Hudson River. It was just gorgeous. Saturday morning we got up, and now we're going to go to Rheinbeck. So kind of like did the whole carpool thing. got us over to Rheinbeck, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. The day was perfect, blue sky. It had rained on Thursday, and it's like stopped on, it didn't rain Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and then rained again on Monday. So the weekend of events was beautiful. Upper 60s, low 70s, just really nice weather. A little warm for sweaters, but I wore them anyway. Because it's like, damn it, I made this for Rheinbeck. I would have been fine with like just something like this. So if I do it again, I might dress a little differently. But I was fine. So we get there and I'm like, oh, this is just so cool. It was just like, we're at Rheinbeck. Like, this is really happening. And the trees are beautiful and people are milling around. And then as the day went on, it just got really, really busy. And so it's at a fairgrounds. And so if you imagine your like state fair, county fair, you've got like the barn kind of buildings where there's vendors. It was like that. You go into these barns and there's vendors all through them. And it was so crowded. I'm not a big person for crowds, that you're kind of walking through and you're like, I couldn't really see in the booth. And if you wanted to look at yarn, it was kind of like that. I thought, this isn't for me. I'm going to wait. I don't have to buy anything that badly. I knew I was going back on Sunday. Kevin and Ray told us from their experience last year that Sunday was the day to shop because there'd be way less people. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to be here and just be here. And so it was really cool. You do this whole podcast hill meetup thing. Not really a hill. I mean, it's a slope. It's like a little slope. But that's, like you saw people like I saw whoever the Dyers for Lobby Enemy. I don't remember what her name is. Let's see. Chevy Rail was there with her tapestry, which was really cool. Got some pictures in front of that. The grocery girls were there. I don't know. There's just different people that I recognized. And then I'm there with my friends who have a pretty big following. And so they had a lot of people approaching them and telling them how they just love to watch their shows and stuff. And that made my heart just grow a few sizes, because of like how cool that, like these people are touched by what you do. And that was just really neat to see. And I had a few people that came up to me, which I was really glad. That was really sweet to know that I can make, that they're watching, that I can make somebody feel happy a little bit for a little bit of time. It was really lovely meeting you, Olivia, and Christina, and some other people. I don't remember your names, and I'm terrible about that. But it was just lovely to meet people and chat with them and all that. Then it was getting pretty busy. We were getting hungry, and the food area was just clogged. Like you couldn't even walk through. And it's like, I'm not going to shop. A few of us were like, we're kind of done. Let's just leave. So we left before the end of the day, and we went to a restaurant and had some lunch, and then went back to the house. And then Sunday we went, and there was way less people. So if you're going to do Rheinbeck and you don't like crowds, go on Sunday. Saturday is the bigger event, I think, because there's people like Andrea Mowry was there, and she's just delightful. So you have those people that are celebrities that are well known, whatever, and people are wanting to meet them, so there's more people. You go on Sunday and it was like there's people, and but it was, you could walk around easy. There wasn't big long lines. You could walk through and actually see vendors and make purchases without feeling like you're squeezing in or somebody's in your way, or not big long lines. So it was really nice to know that we had that day coming up that was going to be a lot easier for shopping. So one of the people that I met up with was Angel of the Scrappy Angel, and she makes really lovely bags, like my Erin bag, the one with the foxes that I put the handles on. She made that one, and she's got this new bag, and she made all of us in the house this bag, which was so sweet, and brought them with her. So this is a prototype. I don't know what the name is, but it's really kind of cool. So it is this rectangular bag, kind of an origami shaped bag. I do have a project in it. It unzips all the way and becomes like a tray. And then it just folds up and zips up. And we were kind of playing with it at the house and realized that you can use it like a yarn bowl. So I've got my yarn coming out like you would a yarn bowl. And so I can sit this next to me on the ground if I'm sitting in a chair and pull from the top, or just set it on a table and just pull my yarn from it. It also can hold my project So it's just a really cool design. This is a prototype, so I think she's going to be making some changes. She's waiting to get some feedback from some of us that are going to use them. But I will definitely let you know when these are available. But follow Scrappy Angel on Instagram, and she will definitely post when she's got these available, and she'll call it whatever she calls it. But she was such a delight. Such a delight. And her friend Kim and her daughter-in-law Holly were with her, and they were just lovely. We had lunch with them one day on, I think it was Sunday. And my friend Susan, who was my roommate at the house, her friends from Texas were there. And so it was fun to meet them. So it was just like you just met this extended family, and it was just really special. I did make some purchases. So I wanted to get Primrose yarn. So Kevin has talked about Primrose yarn because I told the group, I'm like, I want to get non-superwash fingering weight yarn so I can make a sweater. I want non-superwash. So he's like, Primrose is really nice. I'm like, okay, I'll look for them on Sunday. So I found the booth. They were a little more picked over. I wanted a sweater's quantity, and I knew if I got 4 skeins, that would give me plenty. I don't have a sweater in mind. I just know that gives me plenty to make a sweater. And so to find 4 colors, I was like, I don't know what color. I was drawn to the pinks and purples, of course. And I'm like, I can't keep making those colors, right? I need something different. So this may surprise you, but I got black. And it's really pretty. I don't know how it's coming through on the camera, but it's got like this blue undertone. Like one of the strands is blue, and then 2 of this, I think it's a 3-ply. No, it's a 2-ply. So I think one strand is like a really dark blue. So it has like a blue undertone to it. And it is their house fingering. It is 400 yards. It's 50% merino, 50% Shetland, and it is really soft. It is not scratchy at all. So I'm excited to make something with this. Like I said, I don't have any plans. I just now have it. So now I'm kind of getting a stash. I never really had a stash before. I just had like yarn. That sounds weird. I have like single skeins of yarn, but not. That was the first time I bought like a sweater's quantity. I wanted to also pick up some fiber, spinning fiber. So Into the World was there, and I got this. This is a BFL silk, and it is Ramble. I had seen this in their booth in a yarn, and then I was like, okay, let me see if they have it in fiber because I want to spin my own, because I thought I could do color work and maybe put it with the black. I mean, like this, anything would go with this, but that could look kind of cool. So I just really loved that colorway, and my plan is to get back into my spinning. I haven't touched my spinning wheel in a while, but my plan is to get back into that this winter. So I bought some other fiber. Shirsty Cat was there, and I love watching her videos on Instagram. She shows like the dyeing process. She shows like how she dyes it, and then shows what it looks like when it's finished. And I just enjoy watching her process. And so I got this. This is a BFL. And I thought, well, shoot, even that could go with this. So depending on how these spin up, maybe I'll do some color work or something. And either one of those, you know, they're from Rheinbeck, so it could kind of be my Rheinbeck sweater. Maybe for the next time I go to Rheinbeck. I don't know that I'll be going anytime soon. That was a pretty big trip, expense-wise and time-wise and everything. But I would go again, especially with this group. And I hope we get together another time because it was just super cool. So, and then I found Cece's wool booth. She had some really lovely yarn, really, really lovely yarn. And the yarn that I got a kit, and it wasn't actually Cece's yarn, but she sold it. So I got a kit for the Housewife cardigan by Melanie Berg. And this is the kit. Can you see? Oh, I don't want to take it out of the bag, but it has like a purple, blue, green, brown, kind of a teal, a pink, and like a dark purple. And then this is going to be the ribbing and stuff. So this is a really lovely yarn. This is American U Twisted Sport Yarn. It's a 3-ply merino rambouillet, merino/rambouillet from Shaniko Wool Co. And so it's got kind of a marled, all of the skeins look like this, just in the different colors. So I have the yarn to make this sweater. So I just bought the pattern because the kit didn't come with the pattern, but it was like I picked it up and it was like, oh, I really like that. Like those were perfect colors for me. And then I'm kind of holding like, oh, I don't know. It's like it's a big purchase, because you're getting a lot of skeins of yarn. And this lady walks up. She's like, where did you get that? I'm like, well, it was right here. I think it's the last one. Then I'm like, it's the last one. I can't put it down. I have to buy it. And Rob's like, they're totally your colors. I'm like, you're right. I'm just going to buy it. I had a little heart palpitations, but I got it. And I think this will be a fun sweater. So got that. And then, so that was Sunday. We hung out again. There was a big fire pit outside. So Sunday night, somebody went out there, made a fire. We all sat around the fire and just was like, this was just so cool. We all got along fabulously. Everything was very fluid. Like there wasn't anybody, it wasn't like you had to stay as a group and went around. We all just made sure that somebody had a ride and like, okay, I'm going to go out. You're going to go look at that. I'm going to go with you to do that. And okay, you're going to go with you to do that. And I want to go sit and knit. So I'll go sit and knit with you. And I'm going to go, we all just sort of did it. Had a whole group text that we just kept in touch with everybody, made sure everybody had a ride back to the house. And it all just worked really, really well. It was very sad to leave. We all cried. Most of us cried. I'm pretty sure everybody cried. I know I did. I didn't want to leave. It was just like I didn't want the experience to leave. I didn't want to leave these people that were just so amazing. And but all good things must come to an end. So Kevin and Ray took me and Rob to Poughkeepsie. Rob caught the train because he was taken off out of JFK. And Todd was going to take me to White Plains to go back out of there. And then he surprised me with yarn that he bought for me, which, he was already picking me up and taking me to the airport and letting me crash on his apartment. But this is from Utopia. It's BFL. And it is the color Twilight and Royalty. And it's really pretty and it's very, very lovely. So I'm not sure what I'm going to make with it. It is 265 yards for 115 grams. So I'm thinking it's like a DK to worsted. So I'm not sure. I'm thinking a cowl. This would be a really neat cowl, but we'll see. No big plans yet. I need to finish the things that I have on my needles. So I didn't do a ton of knitting, but I did a sufficient enough. Like in the evenings we sat and knit, and that was fine with me. That was good. So let me make sure on my notes I got everything. Yeah. So if I met you and I forgot your name, I'm sorry, but thank you for coming up and saying hi. Thank you to everybody that was in my house with me. You guys are now part of my family, and it just was pretty dang special. I hope we can get together again because it was really cool. Still going to do the Thursday knit nights. In fact, I'm going to do one tonight. I was supposed to go camping and didn't, so now I get to do that. So I guess I like at the bright side on something that was like kind of a bummer. But I've got some videos and pictures and stuff that I've put in or put at the beginning or the end. I don't know how I'm going to do this. But like I said, I didn't take a lot of pictures and stuff, but definitely look at Needles at the Ready, Fiber Hustle, and Piece for Piece Crafting. I will link their podcasts below because I know they're going to do like a Rheinbeck recap. So thank you to everybody. I had an amazing time, and it was due to everybody, and that was all a part of it. So I will have a regular episode, hopefully in a couple of weeks, where I'll talk about my crafty things again. But until then, and Aquila, did I mention that I've got to meet Aquila? She's pretty cool. And Johnny Bo, so funny. I have not laughed so hard for so long. We just laughed. It was lots of joy. So I will see you guys in a couple of weeks. Do what makes you happy, and I will see you later. Bye.